Welcome to Seize the K. I'm your host, Kay Rodriguez, and I'm here to help you with your next creative venture. Whether it's building a business or creating a new stream of income, I'm here to give you practical tips while we keep Jesus at the center of it all. So let's carpe diem and get into this episode. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Seize the K. Wow, I'm so glad you're here, and it's a little bit funny because when I started planning my podcast, I had all these episodes written out and I'd kind of determined the order to a degree for the first 10. But as I've been recording, I'm realizing things that I'm mentioning in other episodes that I'm like, dang, I may need to clarify that. And this is one of those episodes. So if you listen to my last episode on how to charge, there are 3 methods there that will help you to kind of figure out what you want to do. But I had mentioned at some point talking about free services or products, but I want to give even more context in this episode. When do you do things for free? Do you do them for free at all? And the short answer is it's up to you, but let's go ahead and just get right into it. So I want to give this disclaimer. I know that the word free has connotations, which is why people discourage you going by freelancer as a title, or they're just like, you don't want to set people up, your clients, or just people to think they can get anything from you for free. I'm of 2 minds. There's part of me that says, in some ways, you do have to give to get, depending on what you're trying to get, right? But the other part of me is like, listen, if you are using your time, it does not matter how experienced you are in something. If you are using your own time, your own dollar, your own whatever, you have just the audacity to go and do something, you can get paid for it. You don't necessarily have to do anything for free. So I want to really just preface with that. Because what I don't want you guys to do is go do too much for free, which brings me to my next point. Before we even get into this, okay, before I get into when it's appropriate for you to potentially maybe give a service, give a free product when it makes sense. And I'm not going to get into PR stuff like influencers. First of all, make sure it is a short-term commitment. It's between 15 minutes and 30 days. 30 days sounds like a long time, but of course, some things just take longer than others. But the shorter that window is, the better for you. We really want to keep that window short because it's not about doing things for the free. You have specific goals that we're going to talk about, okay? Your time is precious. I don't want you or people you work with not to value your time. So that's thing 1. And the thing 2 is I don't want you to stall. You're like, well, I'll do it for free just because, no. We're not stalling. We're being very purposeful about when and where we do these things, right? And a lot of it's going to be toward the beginning, but it depends. We'll talk more on that later. Especially when you're just trying to figure it out, I would say 2 to 5 times, but let me even give you a disclaimer to that. If you're doing really big activities, i.e., you're helping someone to publish their book, you're filming someone's wedding, you're designing someone's website, whatever that is. For those of you watching online, you see our visitor. He apparently is very against. He does not want to do any of the work. And luckily for you, you're not a person. So I do all the work for you. If you're doing really big projects, you're doing a wedding, you're doing a website, even if you could do those for free, this is an opportunity where I might recommend you select a temporary hourly price or you charge a very discounted rate because these activities take so much time. Like just being at the wedding, depending on the wedding you're at, you can be at a wedding for anywhere from 2 to 12 hours. I just feel like that's a long time. You might try to crank out at least 100, if not more photos. Maybe you're trying to do a video. Websites can be extremely tedious. Even when you're trying to avoid coding, a lot of the time there is some form of back-end coding work that needs to be done. Even if it is your first time, you're trying to build up your portfolio, I really might urge you to charge something. Even if it's just for your time. You're like, hey, for this, I'm going to just charge $30 an hour for my time. And maybe maybe, or maybe you do it for free. But if you are going to do it for free, I would just recommend doing one of these things for free. One free website, one wedding, one published book. I do not want you guys doing unnecessary free activities, especially when it's long. So again, we want to really stay in that 30-day range. So remember, we have specific goals and objectives, which without further ado, let's get into those. Okay, so what we really want to do when we're doing things for free is essentially you're building. So in each of these scenarios, there are 3 of them. I'm going to tell you what you're building in that scenario. And this is why it might be beneficial or in some way beneficial to do it for free. So the first one is you're trying something new. This can be you are literally starting your venture, your side hustle, your creative hobby. You're trying to make money off of it, whatever your business, for free from scratch. You have never done any of this before. You're just really interested in it. You might have to do something for free. If you are a graphic designer or you want to be and you've never done a project before for a client, you might want to do that flyer for free. Maybe you're a little bit more seasoned, but there is something that you want to get into that you haven't explored yet. You might want to do something for free. Maybe you are trying to really work on your After Effects skills. So you have those Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign skills, and now you are wanting to get into After Effects. Maybe you do one logo reveal for free. Whatever that is, you're just trying something new. Here's what doing it for free will help you do in return, okay? You're going to build 3 things under this. You're going to build your portfolio. So you might not have anything in your portfolio. You have nothing to show. You really want to build that portfolio and build reviews. Maybe you have no reviews yet. The goal is to get reviews and to build that portfolio. That's thing 1. The next thing is you want to build your internal awareness or your self-awareness. And what I would highly recommend is after each project that you do, this is going to be anywhere from 1 to 5, depending on the vibes, the situation. You want to ask yourself, what worked? What didn't work? Did I even like doing this? What did I like about it? What did I not like about it? You want to sit down and do an evaluation so that it will help you to become more clear as you continue to move forward as you pursue this venture. So I really recommend doing, even if it's a very short kind of mental review, writing it down is even better. But if it's just a mental revisit of what you did, that is going to be important if you're starting off because you don't really know what to expect. You don't really know. You're learning yourself right at this time. So you're trying to figure all of this out, and having a small project will give you some sort of inkling. You're either learning or earning, right? Best situation, you're doing both. It's okay. Whatever you need to do if you're only doing one or the other. And the last thing is ultimately we're building your confidence. So I want to build your confidence to charge, your confidence to talk to people. Maybe you're trying to figure out, what do I even say to people when they're like, hey, what do you do? This is that opportunity for you to be able to practice that pitch, build your confidence, look people in the eye, get comfortable with your clientele. Like, this is that opportunity when you're trying something new to do all of that right. Not only building your confidence in your capability to do this new activity, but you are also building your confidence just really in yourself. You're going to just practice. Practice makes perfect. We want to take time to just get in more practice and just really more hours under your belt. As an entrepreneur or small business owner, as you start this venture, the quicker you can learn things, the better it will work out for you at the end of the day. All right, so that gives me into the second situation where it's appropriate to potentially give free product, do a service for free. This is when you are launching or relaunching. So you are completely starting from the beginning, or maybe you've taken a break and you're like, okay, let me relaunch. In the same way on Instagram, you'd see a giveaway for something. They're really trying to increase engagement. Here are 2 things you're going to build. At least it's your goal to build during this launch and or relaunch. 1, you're building your clientele. For this one, we're really more externally focused and internally focused like the last one. So you're trying to build your clientele. We want to get more people in, so more people are paying you. And you're also really building your external awareness or your exposure. You want more people to be able to see you, whether that's posting on Instagram. So for example, during the pandemic, I saw a lot of people starting their own ventures, and I made a very clear list of, hey, I will do these activities for free. They were things that I could literally crank out with my eyes closed in very short amounts of time. That's a really appropriate thing to do, especially if you kind of have an idea of what you're doing. You're not starting totally from scratch necessarily, but you're just kind of putting your stuff out there. At this point, by the time I even started my Instagram account, it was 5 years into my venture, which is wild, y'all. Don't be like me. I told you to start your Instagram account. So make sure you do that, or just pick your social media platform of choice. But I just put it out there. I'm like, hey, there's a lot going on right now in the world. Obviously, 2020 was a dumpster fire. But I was like, hey, I'm willing to give some services to people for free. I helped about 5 to 10 people, and that turned into 2 clients. I was willing to work with more people because I was spending significantly less time. So that's something to consider. At the beginning, remember, we talked about make sure it takes less than 30 days. I could do these things in a couple of hours. So I was okay to have more touch points, especially in 2020. I just kind of took advantage of the time. That's what I might recommend. And you don't have to do that. Maybe you just do it for one person, right? But you're really just tapping into your pre-existing community. I don't know if you want to text people, if you want to email people, just however you want to use that. You're just really helping yourself with more external awareness and just getting more clients. The more people that see us, the more people who turn into potential clients, the more that turns into actual clients, and the more that turns into money. And the last thing is trade. Be mindful of trade. Again, this is why we have our preliminary things. Maybe just 2 people we're going to try to trade with. We want to keep it short term. You want that trade to feel equal in value and time. You don't want them to be like, oh yeah, well my stuff is $1,000, and for you, you're like $1,000 worth of work at this point is going to take me a week and you're going to work for an hour. You want it to feel equal in value, in the actual monetary value and time as well. But I do think there are good opportunities to trade. Trading will help you build 2 things, right? It'll help you build trust and partnerships with people. So sometimes you're trying to expand. You don't necessarily want to try something new and bring it in under your own business, or you want to try a partnership and maybe this is where you guys can help each other and they're willing to do that as well. Both parties have to be willing. This is a great way to see, are they people who will do what they say they're going to do? You're just building trust. It's not that you want to test people. However, as an entrepreneur, you deal with a lot of people and you may have some really wild card situations. And so this is a great opportunity to just try to get a feel for people and see if you can even work together. Are they people you want to work with? Are they people you want to be associated with? All of that is very important to keep in mind. The other thing you might be able to build with this option is your capabilities. So whether that's expanding the capabilities for your business, or maybe you're literally trading for a physical product that is going to help your business. Maybe you need a microphone for your podcast. Maybe you need a camera and you're trading for that. Just make sure, again, it feels equal in value. And of course, if you're trading time for a product, just really think about what feels fair for you. Again, I really want to emphasize though, you do not have to do anything for free. Even when you're trading, I've worked with people where I needed to feel that income because let's be real, even if you're getting a product, if you're not getting paid, you're doing it for free. So if you are not seeing cash flow into your account, you have to think about it in your mind. It's going to feel like, especially if things go wrong, you're doing it for free. And that's why I want to keep your timelines really, really tight. And even 30 days can feel like a really long time, but sometimes things just take time. You're waiting on other people to do what they need to do. So just keep that in mind. But again, you don't have to do anything for free. Like I said at the beginning, you can charge. It's your time. Your time is valuable. And I am a very big proponent of you guys doing that, okay? Before I leave, I want to close with this. When you're doing things like this for free, pro bono, if you want to call it, a highly discounted price, essentially it should feel kind of like a sandwich. So at the beginning, as you're building your business, that's exactly what you're doing. You're building the foundation. You're putting the bottom of that bread, that sandwich down so you can put all the meat inside. That's all of the things you're going to learn, all the money you're going to make, all of that stuff, because in the middle, we meat, right? We need to pay for meat. But then at the end, as you've built up and you've gained wisdom and you've really learned about yourself, you've built your confidence, you've built your contacts, you've built more awareness up. That's at the end when you're doing things pro bono for free, now you're giving because you're able to give. You're giving out of abundance versus giving out of lack, right? Like, I don't want to just give things for free because I'm scraping at people to try to pay me. That is not a good reason to do something for free. I don't see that in any of the options that I talked about. Yeah, we're not doing it to get exposure. Please, for the love of all that is good in this day and time, if someone says, hey, this will be good exposure for you, that almost always makes me run in the opposite direction. However, at the end of the day, you really want to use your discernment. Like, the Holy Spirit knows better than anyone, and you want that voice of God to speak to you, because there might be a time when it is appropriate for you to do something for free. There might be a time when it is appropriate for you to do it for exposure. I would say that's going to be an outlier of a situation. Do not make a habit of doing that, because you are valuable. Your work is valuable. Your time is valuable. It doesn't really matter if you've done it 1 time or 100 times. Also, let's just think about the economy. Let's think about times. Let's think about that cost of living to wage gap that has increased so much over the years, which might be the reason you're here to begin with. What I don't want to do is tell you to just give your time and resources away for free. But if you're going to do it, make sure that you're building your confidence, your portfolio, your awareness, both internal and external, your clientele, your capabilities, your trust, and your partnerships with people, okay? Let's talk about real quick what I'm drinking. Okay, shout out to you guys, my flag on my cup if you can see it. Yay. Today, I brought my drink. It's here, and I am drinking what I call a white rose matcha, which is white chocolate with rose, and then I put a little bit of lavender sugar on top with almond milk, and it is scrumdiddly yum a purr baby, okay? Start drinking matcha. I know some of you guys think it tastes like dirt. I get it. If you have not tried it, try it in moderation, okay? Because it's also like good for your digestion and things like that. I really like Gold. Gold is my go-to matcha. First of all, Trinity, I will sing that girl's praises until the day that I die. She is just the sweetest person. She has the cutest family. The story behind her brand is really good. I learned about her when I was working in agency life with clean beauty brands, and just 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Cheers to that, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for tuning in to Seize the K. I want to connect with you outside of this podcast. In the description, you'll see all the ways that we can connect and keep the conversation going. If you liked it, please subscribe. Until next time, cheers.